Why, hello everybody. Welcome back to Homestuck Synopsis, Act 5, Act 2. This is Part 2. Told you I'd be back. So anyways, where were we? The Red Miles. The Quaescent enters the Frog Temple and goes down to greet the Right Keeper. He emerges from the time capsule just as planned, but their embrace is cut short when they see the lotus flower wilting as if poison. 10 seconds later, the lotus disgorges its disastrous final passenger, Jack Noir, who continues his rampage as if nothing happened. Noir slays the former king and queen and then exits the temple. The sky is now full of red miles and the same forking tendrils of destructive energy that Noir once used on the battlefield of Prospect. The miles are worse this time, though. They are spreading without limit and will kill the whole universe. Noir and the Monarch spot each other, draw swords, and square off, but before they can fight, the renegade starts detonating his bombs. He blows up the Backhead Station, the Egg Station, and the Apple Station. By this time, the renegade has Noir's attention and mere moments left to live. He hesitates to blow up the Cork Station, perhaps paralyzed by fear of perhaps knowing that the vagabond is still trapped inside. Before he can make up his mind, Noir decapitates him. The Monarch takes a brave swing at Noir, but does not connect. Noir has already teleported into the Cork Station, which holds the only way to get out of this dying frog. Seeing that the Sendificator needs uranium fuel, Noir sniffs it out with his radiometric doggy nose. He finds the vagabond in the next room, punches a hole straight through the vagabond's gut with his fist, and forcibly extracts the chunk of uranium from his stomach. Noir's hand is now bloodied and will remain bloody throughout his encounter with the trolls. He powers up the station and uses the Sendificator to exit the universe. In the aftermath of Noir's appearance, the Monarch finds the vagabond mortally wounded and unconscious. She is dragging him outside when the White Queen's ring drops out of his clothes. She puts on the ring and transforms, gaining the same abilities that the other ring gives to Noir. She has failed in one of her royal duties to lead the exiles to safety, but the other duty was to bring Noir to justice, and now she has the power to do that. Carrying the vagabond and his fireflies, she returns to the Syndicator and follows Noir into the troll session. After the trolls defeat the Black King, Skya turns into a home for the Genesis frog. Billy is slick. The frog matures, speaks the Vastrook, and becomes the universe which contains Earth. From the troll's point of view, the dimension of this universe, including the entire history and lifespan, come into being at once. Time and space inside the universe are not seen in the same way from outside the frog. When the Vastrook dies down, the trolls are presented with the door to the ultimate reward. According to Carcat, this meant they would enter the kids' universe and rule over it, but then Noir appears in their midst and destroys the door. Aradia's quick thinking saves her friends. She tosses them through a transportalizer while her dream selves mob Noir and prevent him from following. The trolls find themselves in an ectobiology lab on a meteor in the Veil, where they will remain for the next 10.5 hours. The lab has plenty of room for them to wander and stick their shit in random treasure chests, but eventually they congregate in the lab's computer room. Understanding nothing, they get online and talk on trillions time-spanning memos, while Noir starts hunting for them all over the Psittasphere. He destroys the 12 planets in the medium first, then targets Prospectors. In the 5th hour, Noir destroys Prospect, while Solix and Trezzy discover the kids who live on Earth. Carcat, having fainted when Kanaya amputated Trablus's legs, wakes up an hour later to find everyone talking about these goofy aliens bird players who seem both doomed to fail and implicated in his own failure. He rallies the trolls for one last team effort. They will use their chat client to hassle and verbally abuse the kids. Each troll has a different approach to trolling the kids. Aradia, the hero of time, refuses. She believes trolling the kids is what gets them into this mess. When she warns Rose not to take the green sign, it is not because she thinks it will change what happens. Trying to change things only reinforces the Alpha Timeline's causal loops. Fairy, the hero of life, feels the opposite. He is eager to get to know the kids and convinced that they are the answer to the troll's plight. She talks to Jade about how the gods of the Furthest Ring will help the two races meet in dream bubbles. Solix, the hero of doom, doesn't care about the kids at all. Equius, the hero void, tries to decipher the kid's social hierarchy. His blue blood places him as a noble troll caste, but all humans have bright red blood, an aberrant color unique to Karkat. Equius trolls Dave about human class structure, and they drop delirious flows at each other. Tavros, the hero of breath, tries to get Dave's earth goat, and then moves on to Jade. When he offers to command Beckbright, his awkward confession earns him the scorn of Jade and also Biscuit, who was eavesdropping. Karkat, the hero of blood, hates John at first sight. He flirts caliginously with John to no avail. He flirts caliginously with John to no avail. John has already spoken to him many times and knows him as a friend. Embraced by the encounter, he continues trolling John backwards. He gradually warms to the kids and learns that there is a plan to meet up with them after they escape their session. Jade needs his help, so he spends the rest of his trolling efforts trying to talk to Jade at the right times. Nepeta, the hero of heart, bonds with Jasper Sprite. Kanaya, the hero of space, obsesses over Rose. She idolizes the author of the walkthrough she grew up reading and wonders if the underwhelming kid can really be the same person. They talk many times and become friends, though she frets over Rose's looming grimdark death. Erden, the hero of hope, sneers at Rose's open use of magic. When Rose blows up his computer, he persuades Kanaya to make him a wand. The wand becomes his preferred weapon, even if he insists magic is fake. He gives Jade his rifle, Ahab's crosshair. Tragedy, the hero, mine is the most successful troll at first. She can't see the doomed timeline she creates, such as the one where John picks a fight with Saphius, but Dave's sprite gives her some idea. She starts helping Dave when she realizes that the kids and trolling are going to be useful to each other. Friska, the hero of light, makes herself important by manipulating events in the kids' lives, including their wakefulness at key times, in order to be responsible for creating the demon. She also guides John to godhood, beating Terezi at the chumpy, impressionable human boy off. Gamzee, the hero of rage, has run out of the sedative super slime he is addicted to. Dave invites Gamzee to watch a video that blasphemes his clown faith. The video angers and changes him. Time to be alive. In the 7th hour, Noir destroys Durst and its moon, killing the Durst dream selves and triggering Aratia's last transformation. The rest of Blood has gone from living troll to ghost to frog sprite to soulbot without anyone suspecting she ever had a dream self. She died before entering the game, so there were towers on Durst's moon for all of Blue Team except for her. In fact, her dream self was hibernating on a sacrificial slab in the core of Durst the whole time. When Noir's green fire kills a dream Aradia in her crypt, Aradia rises as the god tier made of time. In the lab, her robotic avatar hugs Solus goodbye and then explodes. The Maid of Time emerges from the dust of Durst and confronts the murderous Archagent. With her new power, she freezes him in place just long enough for his rage and impatience to turn into a portal to the Green Sun for a moment. She unfreezes him and then leaps through him and into the vicinity of the Green Sun, to which he can't teleport himself. Aradia has escaped the furthest ring, where the gods blow bubbles for the dreaming dead. The dream bubbles are the afterlife for players of Spurb and Scrub. Some of the inhabitants are ghosts of players who died and were not resurrected. The rest are projections of alive players who are asleep and dreaming after their dream selves or waking selves have died. And then there is Aradia, who is uniquely alive and there in the flesh. The dream bubbles are decorated to let their inhabitants relive old memories without being aware that they have died. Aradia eagerly becomes a psychopomp for these amnesiac ghosts. She talks to them and eases them into awareness. Oh my god. I've been reading this since 11, I'm pretty sure, and it's now midnight. So, the first bubble Aradia enters is a memory belonging to one of her own doomed selves, an Aradia bot who attacked Noir 6 hours ago. Noir dispatched the Aradia bot by throwing a little Kel at her. She traveled back in time to escape the puppet's awful clutches and was crushed by a meteor speeding towards Gaia during the Reckoning. Defense portals sent this meteor to Alternia sometime before Aradia first died. It smashed a hole through the ground into a large cave. The dream bubble shifts to Aradia's memories of this older event. Aradia went to look into the cave and found some blue frog ruins like the red ones near Kanaya's hive. In the impact crater, Aradia found the remains of her own future soulbot and tucked into Little Kel's shirt, John's dad's wallet. She shared her discovery with Solix, who needed to know the glyphs carved into the blue runes in order to finish writing Scrub, and had him send Little Cal to Kanaya for repair. When the dead doomed Aradia and dreaming Solix reenacted their old conversation without awareness, the living Aradia steps in and helps them remember. The other ghosts and dreamers drift in and out of this bubble. Aradia takes them on a tour through events in their lives, revealing the suppressed memories in which they wrote out pieces of the genetic code that the agents of Durst would use to make Alternia's first guardian. Just as Rose wrote part of Becquerel's genome in a cipher with the letters meow, the trolls wrote part of Doc Scratch's genome in ciphers with the letters tick tock, break heads, honk honk. A harbinger of the vast honk, foretold in Gamzee's clown faith. The Black Queen created Doc Scratch by combining these codes with Lil Cal and Vriska's magic cue ball. In another bubble, Aradia finds Dave reliving a memory of Mad Snaxio. He turns out to be the doomed Dave who was murdered by Noir after getting up off his quest bed. Alright, after Aradia's soulbot explodes for no apparent reason, the trolls lose interest in working together. Most of them leave the computer room and withdraw into their own corners of the laboratory. In the 8th hour, they start fighting and killing each other. It goes down like this. Vriska gloats, telling Tavros how she orchestrated Noir's rise to invincible demonhood. Tavros threatens to end her invertebrate abuse and manipulation. They agree to fight it out, and he goes looking for her. Trezzy leads a doomed Dave to his death while testing the Alpha Dave's willingness to rise to godhood. Her complicity in this event upsets her. When she runs off in tears, the only trolls left in the computer room are Solix, Fairy, Karkat, and Kanaka. Karkat is agitated about all the fucks going rogue, especially Gamzee, who hasn't been seen since watching Dave's Juggalo video. The key discovery in the lab has suggested to Kanaya that the time is right to use the matriarch, an egg she has harvested from her dead mother grub Lucis. She hopes to relaunch the Alternian race by hatching the matriarch in the core of the meteor, but before she can leave for the core, Aridin enters. Aridin picks a fight with Solix by declaring his intentions to surrender and serve Noir. Feferi and Solix decide that Aridin must be stopped. Aridin tosses off his cape, and they duel. With his wand, he is more powerful than when they fought on Lobath, land of B and F. I forget what that one was. The gold blood takes a crushing blow and slumps against the wall. Feferi makes a move to retaliate. Aridin is quicker to the draw. His bolt of white science impales her in the collapse and expanding bladder-based aquatic vascular system. The fuchsia blood falls dead on the horn pile. Finally, Aridin provokes Kanaya by blowing up the matriarch. She lunges at him and gets a bolt through the torso for her trouble. The jade blood falls sort of dead on the floor. Having completed his rampage, Aridin leaves the computer room. Karkat snaps out of shock bystander mode and examines the bodies, finding Solix to be in a stable condition. Messages arrive from Doc Scratch and Gamzee that make Karkat fear for his life. Gamzee has embraced the violent psychosis that is calling as a purple blood. He promises to kill everyone. Tavros finds Vriska on a high walkway. He charges at her and is impaled. Vriska sticks the bronze blood with his own lance and throws him off the walkway. He drops a great height and falls dead on the ground behind Trezzy, who is alone. Trezzy investigates a pin and pins the murdered on Vriska. She sends her findings to Karkat and then takes her computer glasses off and kisses Tavros' corpse in the vain hope that he might have a dream self to revive. Karkat, weeping, does the same for Kanaya. Nothing comes of their heartfelt corpse mooches. Karkat drags the unconscious Solix out of the computer room in search of a place to hide from Gamzee. At the top of the staircase, Karkat hears a scary honk and panics. He and Solix happen to fall down the stairs. The tumble knocks Solix's fangs out. Karkat finally responds to Rezi's message, only to find Gamzee on the line. Fearing the worst, Karkat appeals to Aqueous to fight back against the psychopaths. Trezzy leaves the computer room without her glasses, letting Gamzee steal them. Gamzee cuts off and makes out with Tavros' head. He gets revenge on Dave by subjecting him and John to psychic chuckle voodoos that trouble their dreams. In Dave's case, the chuckle voodoos create Little Cal. In John's case, they cause the unconscious clown scribbles that would contribute to the Harlequin prototyping. Aqueous makes Nepeta hide in a safe room while he goes looking for the violent high bloods, but she is not content to sit still. She enters the air duct and crawls around. She sees Aqueous very great and watches as Gamzee kills him. Gamzee first shoots an arrow into Equus's knee, then garrotes him with the bowstring. The indigo blood offers no resistance and chokes with a smile on his face. Losing her morale spurs Nepeta to attack. She leaps out of the grate at Gamzee. It ends no better for the olive blood than for the other 3 trolls who lunge at their foes. Gamzee uses her claws for war paint and then clubs her to death. Tracy returns unharmed to the computer room and smells another murder to pin on Vriska. But the crime scene is not how Karkat left it. Kanai's body and Eridan's scarf are gone, and there's a bite on Fairy's neck. This evidence is strange to Dredge. She couldn't know that Kanai is now an undead rainbow drinker. Tracy tries messaging Karkat again and ends up chatting with Solix. He has recovered from the blow he suffered in the duel, but there are lasting effects. He is now blind, listless, and free from the voices of the soon to die. Their talk is cut short when a bright-smelling interloper ambushes Tracy and sucks her teal blood. Murders of murderers. Despite saying that they would leave to find Noir, Vriska and Eridan have lingered in the lab. After killing Tavros, Vriska feels remorse for the first time. She bares her soul to John and consults her ancestors' diary for guidance. Trolls do not have families, but some of them claim a special kinship with legendary ancestors. This may or may not be true of the trolls properly hatched from the mother grub, but Karkat ensures it would be true for the players of this group when he cloned them with ectobiology. Just like John's babies, Karkat made 2 sets of 12 baby troll grubs. The Reckoning delivered these grubs to their home planet by meters. The player grubs all landed on Eternity 6 solar sweeps before the last club, while the ancestor grubs landed and lived out their lives in different times in Alternian history. When Vriska was little, she found the diary and belongings of her ancestor, Marquise Mindfang, or Marquise Spinneret Mindfang, for that matter, a swashbuckling gambligant. The Marquise wrote about her kismesis with Orphaner Dulscar, Eridan's ancestor, who took his rivalry with her too far. Mindfang took Kanaya's ancestor for a slave and violated her. Dulscar had the slave killed and then tattled to the Grand Highblood Gamzee's ancestor, a subjugulator. The Highblood killed the Orphaner for being unfunny. Vriska, Eridan, and Gamzee are wandering alone when they cross paths. The murderers enjoy a 3-way stare-down, complete with a Fago tumbleweed, and a 4th troll bursts onto the scene with Eridan's cape tied over a hole in her torso. Moving with vampire fastness, she kicks Gamzee off the walkway, punches Vriska, breaks Eridan's wand, and saws the violet blood in half. Vriska is enamored of Kanaya's rowdy, non-nonsense brand of ruffianism. Meanwhile, Tracy wakes up from her blood donation, she still believing that Vriska is the only murderer. Gamzee starts collecting the bodies and manipulating the evidence to frame Vriska further into Tracy's mind. Tracy finds Nepeta's corpse and a note that makes her think Vriska has harmed Gamzee too. The note lures Tracy into a room where she finds her old role-playing accessories, the puppet, little cow, and disc 2 of Homestuck. She scratches the disc on a record player, damaging it greatly after donning the costume of her ancestor, Neophyte Red Glare. Tracy decides she is ready to put Vriska on trial. Wow, I'm so sorry. This is a lot. Mindfang's flight. Neophyte Red Glare was a Legis Lacerator who served as subjugulators. They sent her to arrest Marquise Mindfang after hearing Dulscar's testimony. Red Glare and her dragon, Lucis Pyral Sprite, succeed where many others have failed. They burned Mindfang's fleet and brought her to trial. At the trial, Mindfang turned the tables on Red Glare by manipulating the minds of the spectators. They mobbed Red Glare and hanged her while Mindfang fought the gigantic tyranny presiding over the court block. After escaping, Mindfang holed up with Equus's ancestor, Darklear, and reclaimed the treasure he had kept, a seed of the doctor who manipulated her. It was an oracle she consulted often before she lost her vision eightfold. It had told her she would die at the hands of the future maid spirit, Tavros' ancestor, the rebel summoner. Mindfang decided not to use the magic cue wall again. Instead, she hid it from her descendant to find. The orb would later play a role in Vriska's cycle of revenge against her friend in the creation of Doc Scratch. Oh my god. The flip. Tracy climbs to the roof of the lab to confront Vriska. At this point, the Scratch in the disc forces us to quit playing and take it to a scratch doctor for repair. Why is it all fucked up like that? That's stupid. Why would you do that? That's funny, though. I like it. While fixing the Homestuck disc, Doc Scratch narrates part of Act 5 in his own narcissistic style. I have already recapitulated most of his material, and the length I will go to describe the way he tells it will not extend beyond this sentence. Trezzy knows that Vriska will be responsible for more deaths if she is not stopped. Vriska will fly away to seek a duel with Noara, but before she can goad him into fighting, he will follow her scent trail back to the meteor, discovering the remaining trolls and kill them. Then he will return and give Vriska the fight she wants, but she will be in a doomed timeline whether she wins or not. Trezzy gives Vriska a chance to reconsider and stay on the meteor. Vriska knows that when Trezzy says go, she means die. Trezzy is prepared to kill Vriska if she does not stay willingly, but Vriska calls her bluff and turns to go. Trezzy stabs the Cobalt Blood in the back, killing her. Vriska's death is judged just. She does not come back to life. Only Trezzy, Gamzee, Slokes, and I and Karkat remain. TGSKK. The ghost of Vriska meets a ghost of John in a dream bubble. They drift through their old memories for a long time before he recalls how he died. He is a doomed John who met his denizen Typheus. The troll Jigus, Karkat's ancestor, the Sufferer, was the spiritual leader of the Hersey that challenged the brutal caste structure of supporting Feferi's ancestors, the Condess, Empress of the Trolls. In his lifetime, he was called the Signless. The Signless shared Karkat's bright red blood. When he fell to Alternia as a grub, no Lucis would adopt him. He survived in the care of the Dolorosa, Kanai's ancestor, who had to raise him in secret. After pupating, he had visions from another life in which Alternia was peaceful and kind, but they were not exactly visions of Alternia. Karkat's session began on the flip side of a scratch. There was another scrub session in which the Signless and his friends were the players, while Karkat and his friends were the ancestor. They lived in a world untroubled by Dr. Scratch's guidance. When these softer trolls played scrub, they failed and found themselves at a dead end. The game offered them a second chance at the price of oblivion. By resetting their session, they would let their ancestors play and their roles would be reversed. After completing the scratch, they lived only in the Signless's lucid memories. The Signless preached the visions of peace and gained many followers, including Nepida's ancestor, the Stifle, and Solix's ancestor, the Psionic. Their movement spread throughout the galaxy before the High Blood suppressed it. The Signless was caught, wedgied, flogged, and left to die in red-hot irons. His last breath was a cry of limitless rage. The Stifle was also condemned, but Darkleer disobeyed and spared her. In hiding, she painted the Sufferer's gospel. Ages later, their followers secretly prepared for the Sufferer's descendant, so that he would have a sign and a Lucis despite his blood. Aw. I don't remember some of this stuff, so rereading this makes me, gives me feels. The Vast Club. All the flashing. Her condescension drafted the Psionic into her galactic campaign. He became the helmsman, propelling her flagship through the cosmos faster than light with his telekinesis. They spent millennia expanding the Empire, conquering every alien race they met. The Countess kept her subjects in line by threatening to make Glub Glub sing. But when she flew too far from Alternia, her bond with the Leviathan Lucis faded. The reckoning came, wounding Glub Glub just as the last players were entering the medium. The Vast Club killed every troll in the galaxy except the Condess and Feferi. The Condess steered back to Alternia. She arrived home 1,300 years later and was greeted by Arati's ancestor, the Handmaid. The Handmaid was the only ancestor to be given a post-reckoning meteor. Doc Scratch raised her on the Green Moon and groomed her to serve Lord English. Using time travel, she terrorized the entire history of the Alternian race, reinforcing the events that would cause her master to enter the universe. When the Handmaid's work was done, she approached the Condess and they fought. The Condess killed the Handmaid and placed her as Lord English's witch. She will serve English in another universe. Tick, tock, break, heads, Hong Kong scary wolf heads. Fuck. I'm singing. Fuck. Doc Scratch's job to usher his master into the troll universe. In order to do that, Scratch has to exist and be powerful. The Alpha timeline is full of entities contributing to their own creation, and Scratch is no exception. This is why he manipulates the trolls and kids. But once he has secured his birth and power source, he must see to his death. Lord English must be summoned. When the Felt fought the Midnight Crew, Scratch's colleague Snowman was able to torment Spade Slick with impunity because if Slick killed her, the universe would end, and he didn't want that. But that is exactly what must happen now. The thing that summons English is a virus that runs when the universe dies. After unseen events which gave Slick a prosthetic arm and freed him from the vault where he commanded Karkat as an exile, Slick visits Scratch in his apartment. He does his best to be a horrible guest with curt manners, egregious womanizing, murdering the help, casual arson, and atrocious candy bowl etiquette. He also breaks the judgment clock as it is relaying Risky's fate. Does this interfere with how Risky is judged? It is an open question. Make up your own mind, or perhaps consult an oracle. This is a link. Where does it take me? It's a Magic 8-Ball thing. Cool. Breakheads. After the clock incident, Scratch beats Slick savagely, sending him away with a suicidal mission and a cue ball gun. The handmaid's bedroom had a fifth wall, a window between Scratch's apartment and Hussey's. After a fight with her guardian, the handmaid uses this portal to get to Hussey's attention. Hussey bursts through the window and decides to suspend Scratch's narrator privileges. He finds the cue ball puppet, telling the handmaid how she will earn death after countless ages of service. Doc Scratch goes limp and lifeless in Hussey's hands. Hussey pulls the repaired disc out of Scratch's plush body and returns to his own apartment. Slick finds Snowman in the city he built. She challenges him to kill her, and so he shoots her through the heart. Just as sudden, the universe starts to die around them. In the scrub by Sisyphosphere, after blowing up all the planets, Jack Noir turns his fury on the celestial pawn squatter Bilious Slick, who is the universe of Earth. In the 11th hour after arriving, Noir hits the universe frog with the red miles. It starts to die. The miles spread inside the universe until the exiled runners see them in the sky, thus motivating Noir's earlier self to escape to where he is now. The two universes die in circumstantially simultaneous arrangement that triggers the tumor. When Rose, Dave, and Liv Tyler reach their destination, the furthest ring, they descend into the crypt in the core of Durst's moon. They find two sacrificial slabs, one for the hero of light and the other for the hero of time. There is no slab for Liv. Where the kids place the tumor in the middle of the crypt, it sheds its yin-yang shell, revealing a mechanism with a red side and a blue side. The red side is linked to the fate of their universe, while the blue side is linked to the fate of the Troll's universe. Rose and Dave stand on their side and wait for the tumor to detonate. When it does, it creates the green sun. In navigating the perverse furthest ring, they had unknowingly come to a point in space-time before the green sun existed. They believed they would destroy it. The belief that they would destroy it was mistaken in Rose's plan, one that Dr. Scratch did not bother to correct. The green sun explodes into being, kills Rose and Dave in their crypt. Honk honk. The surviving trolls join Terezi on the roof of the meteor in anticipation of the critical moment when they will escape the veil and the wrath of Jack Noir. They are waiting for the beacon from the furthest ring. The others are not sure what to do about Gamzee, who is still in scary murder mode. They entertain various romantic impulses, but it is Karkat who takes the initiative. Karkat offers Gamzee his moral religion, calms his juggalo ass down with the tenderness and grace of a true pale mate. Light from the green sun arrives, showing the trolls the way out of their session. Solix propels a meteor towards the beacon with all his psionic energy. The Goldblood violently overexerts himself and dies. Oh, wow. Okay, so Solix is dead. Okay, Jack Noir sees the beacon too, but does not give chase in the critical moment. While the meteor escapes into the furthest ring, Noir is distracted by the arrival of his vengeful mirror image. The Prospitan monarch has followed him to the troll's Sisyphosphere, carrying the mortally wounded vagabond and wearing the queen's White Queen's ring. Like the stories of legend, Solix's ghost is only half dead. He leaves his dream bubble and joins Aradia, who is waiting at the Green Sun for friends to arrive. Their patience is rewarded when Rose and Dave rise up out of the sun as the god-tier seer of light and night of time. In the Great Undoing, we see what Doc Scratch meant when he said he was an excellent host. Scratch's apartment has been transported into the Green Sun, where the viruses executes. Lord English bursts out of Scratch's body in cue ball head. He is a green demon with pool ball eyes and a cue stick leg. He takes his Cairo overcoat from between Hussey's portals, speaks the hideous vast honk, and leaves to prey on an entire dead universe. Okay, I don't know. Anyways, wow, that took 2 parts. I love that. That's hilarious. So that's Act 2. That took me a while. Now, I would stop there, but end of Act 5 and the length of this video makes me not want to do so. So, what we're going to do is we're going to go to here. I'm going to play Cascade for you guys, which shows the events of the end of Act 5, Act 6, or Act 5, Act 2. I'm going to be as quiet as possible while this plays. I can't make any promises, though, so, yeah. I'm just going to kind of sit here. I might actually, you know what, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab this. This is my PSP. I'm going to train while I do so. This really just shows what happened in what I just read. A lot of what I just read is shown here, but I just wanted to show it because it's one of my favorite parts of Homestuck. It's one of everyone's favorite parts. Okay, I'm going to shut up now, like I said. It's also got amazing music. Okay, no more talking. Training. This is a long animation, by the way. Okay, no more talking. Well, I'm gonna probably end up talking again, but I'm gonna try to talk as little as possible. Like I tried already. Some of the things I read I hadn't known and found kind of interesting after reading. How this is the kid session, that's the troll session on the right, and the kid session on the left. It's just like, wow. I mean, I probably could have gathered that, but again, Hussey makes a lot of nonsensical bullshit happen, so I'm amazed by some of this, and it's really awesome. When I say some of the stuff I read I didn't know, it's stuff I just didn't remember. Like Jade talking to her denizen about the promise and all that stuff. I don't remember some of that stuff. It's been a long time since I've read Homestuck all the way through. By a long time, I mean earlier this year. But it's such a long comic, it's hard to remember everything. And any agreeing Homestuck will understand will understand this. I won't lie, a lot of Homestucks probably remember the best parts. The parts that are somewhat important, but the reasoning behind some of the best moments are the parts that we forget. Like, why does Jade do all the things in Cascade? Oh, because she made a promise. And it really does, the story does actually start to make sense once you remember everything. There's just so much to remember. And there's a lot you have to comprehend for the story to really make sense. Like, some of the stuff you watch and you're just like, what the fuck just happened? And you just take it that way. You can't take it that way sometimes. Sometimes you actually have to read what you're reading and try to understand it. No, like, deeper meaning, like, physically, literally. Like, literally what it means, or what's actually happening. And then there's the figurative stuff that actually, like, has, like, significance, like it's a reference, or it's supposed to mean something. Like how Mindfang was supposed to die to Summoner versus how Tavros dies to Vriska. Ironic things that... Not ironic things, but, like, coincidental things that were done purposely by an author. This among the other flashes in the series is one of the best ones. The second one happens to actually be game over. And in the best, I mean like the way it's animated and just what happens and what it means. And its significance to things. Not even really significance, but just how amazing the flashes were. Those are probably my favorite flashes. Game Over, S Game Over, and S Cascade. I'll have to say those are my favorites. Even though Game Over does have some things in it that I kind of don't like, and I've already talked about in the reaction video. Which I'm kind of glad has over 3,000 views, by the way. Thank you. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. I'm glad that I've gained so many subscribers over the last month of having this channel. I went from 2 to 14. I surpassed one of my friends on Team 1 with Dave. And it kind of makes me feel bad that I did so little to gain so much. In a sense. Okay, this right here, this scene right here really makes me look at how canon the ship Carezi is, Karkat and Carezi. But enough about my ships. It's hilarious that the way she's pointing off in that one direction, and the way Karkat's looking at her is just like, he wants her, but vice versa. You just know there's something there. It turned up a little bit, sorry. Some stuff started turning on in my house. Also, this is the first time in a while I've stayed up this late, and I kind of feel bad about it. I'm starting to lose my sleep schedule that I purposely put together. However, this is going to be the end of Cascade, right about here. That is the end of Cascade. And thank you for watching Act 5, Act 2 Synopsis of Homestuck. Part 2, obviously, but Part 1 and Part 2 are going to be uploaded not simultaneously, but one after another. I didn't say that in the first part, but I said it now, so I feel better about it. That's going to happen. Part 6, or Act 6 is going to be kind of hard to do, in a sense that not all of the synopsises for Act 6 have been finished. But that's beside the point. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time. This has been JX Alphite here. Peace out.